I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. All right. We're going to do number 2 of Virgo. Hopefully we'll be able to get through this without any distraction, etc. All right. So again, this is still the Gospel and the Zodiac. All right. The Secret Truth About JC, the Christ Figure by the Reverend Bill Darrell-El. All right. Link to the free PDF is in the description area of the video, so y'all go get it. Okay. I hope the traffic is not too much of a distraction, but it is what it is, so we have to make do with it. All right. So like and share the video. All right, we're gonna pick up where I left off last time. All right. Hold on. Let's see. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Okay. You can leave feedback or your questions in the comments section. I'll answer the questions, but I can't say when because sometimes I don't see the questions until later. All right, so don't be offended if I don't answer your question right away. When I see them, when I get the notice, sometimes I don't even get notice. I have to check. Sometimes I actually have to check for comments. All right. But when I see them, I will respond. All right. So just give me 1 second. We'll get started. All right. I'm going to put the camera the other way for just a moment. Give me 1 second. I'm at a cafe, and I had a pretty decent seat, and then somebody came and sat down one table in front of me and fired up a cigarette right before I was just about to push my live stream button. So I had to move anyway. It is what it is. We make it do what it do, right? Unstoppable. Unstoppable, so let's do it. That's the proper frame of mind. Regardless of the situation or circumstance. What I feel and how I respond is totally up to me, and I'm glad I just thought about that because now I feel good. I feel good now. All right, I choose to feel good. And trust me, that is a choice, all right? Okay, so y'all, let's begin. Let's make it do what it do. Okay, so we're on Virgo. All right. Let me just get myself acclimated. All right. I really don't want to have to rent I don't want to have to rent an apartment around here just so I can be able to live stream. Oh man. See, I'm telling y'all. Y'all might think that this is easy, but this is time consuming. I had to leave my house. I think I left at 5:30 or 5:40 in the morning, right? So you can imagine what time I had to get up. I get up about 4:30, 3:30, 4:30 every day. So I come here, and the place that I usually go is really not good, right? I mean, compared to the Vietnam standards, the cafes near this place where I'm assigned are not good. But it is what it is. So anyway, I have to come here early, get up early, come here, and then deal with being uncomfortable. And I'm not complaining. I'm trying to express to you the difficulty of providing content. You know, I'm sure every content creator has their challenges, right? So y'all keep that in mind when you watch these presentations, all right? It may look easy, but in fact, it's not. It may look inexpensive. In fact, it's not. So I have to find a better option. Maybe I'm going to have to rent something, but I don't want to deal with the lease, you know, because I have a lease now. Otherwise, I just would have moved to this neighborhood. But what can I do? We really don't have too many options. So bringing this content to y'all is more difficult than what some of you may think, right? I mean, this is just one of the challenges. All right, but anyway, let's continue. I'm trying to figure out, okay, all right, I know where we're at now. But I tell you, in Asia, what I found out recently about Vietnam, we get started in a minute. What I found out recently about Vietnam, people tend to just die. Someone asked me, a Vietnamese person asked me, why is it that in Vietnam people just drop dead? Right, they just drop dead. And I started to think about it. And then I realized they drop dead because they smoke You go to any coffee shop like this, the whole patio, they're going to be smoking cigarettes, right? And then they'll turn around and throw on top of that eating pork and a lot of fat, right? And then on top of that, drinking a lot of beer. So they drop dead. Just like that. Drop dead. But that's what that kind of lifestyle will do for you. And then, of course, most likely they're asthmatic already because somebody in their house was smoking cigarettes, so they're asthmatic. And y'all know that can be just a disaster waiting to happen. But anyway, let's continue. If we translate the elements, we're on page 134. Page 134, all right. The link to the free PDF is in the description area of the video if you want to follow along. If we translate the elements of this somewhat unflattering psychological portrait into spiritual categories, all right, so spiritual categories, so now you got to put your religious doctrine cap on. We can see that Virgo phase of experience is characterized by service, discipleship, living out the precepts laid down by the spiritual master. In the modern era, no one has exemplified these better than Mother Teresa of Calcutta, born 27 August 1910. So y'all already know. You can just forget about that, right? I sure would like to, if I had the time and a little bit more interest, I would research her life, and I guarantee you, being in the organization that she was in, she'd be associated with a lot of crimes. That's my opinion. But anyway, let's continue. Their archetype for Virgo is Mother Teresa. That's funny. That's really, really funny. Okay, but anyway, let's continue. Okay, so we're talking about Mother Teresa, whose practical, hands-on approach to religion has had such a marked influence on the contemporary world. So they're associating Virgo with religion. So that association means what? Corporation, right? Corporation. So again, this is tied back to the Catholic corporation, right? This is tied back to Catholicism. Of course, I believe she was a Catholic. But what I'm talking about is that they are putting energy into corporations by representing them and directing energy from what? From the zodiac into corporations. Does everyone see that? I hope everyone sees that. So obviously, we need to change this. We need to take this back to what it was in ancient times, right? Take it back to what it was in ancient times. And it was not related to any religion, because religion is not ancient when you look at things in the big scheme of things in terms of time. All right? There was actually a time when there was no religion. Okay? And there was a zodiac at that time. So what was Virgo before there ever was a religion? That's the point. We need to go back to that place. Why is that? That's a return to our heritage, right? That's a return to our heritage, as we are instructed to do. Is it clear? Okay, I'm sure it's clear. Okay, so y'all see we have a lot of changes to do. Again, the symbology and the stories that are associated with the zodiac signs pull power into those things, okay? That's the only reason why people would be interested in doing this, because there's power that you can pull from the universe, all right? There's energy and power and influence that you can direct into whatever it is that you are linking to Virgo or any of the other zodiac signs, all right? Does anyone understand that fully? I can say I don't. All right, but I'm sure there are people who have a very good understanding. All right. Okay, so let's continue. although her shrewd self-promotion. Now, this is contradictory, right, to what Virgo is. Virgo is not supposed to be a woman who wants to be out front. Y'all got that? Y'all see the contradiction here? Virgo does not want to be out front. Okay, we went through, go back and watch the other video, and you'll see the personality, characteristics, and the behavior of Virgo. And being out front, self-promotion ain't one of them. Okay, let's continue. Her high profile and her considerable leadership qualities seem to indicate the importance of other factors. Her image and her public utterances seem almost invariably to reflect her birth sign. Well, no, actually not, because Virgo does not want to be out front. Okay? Mother Teresa was a shrewd person at self-promotion. That's contrary to Virgo. So let's continue. A sacrifice to be real must cost. Y'all got that? A sacrifice to be real must cost, must hurt, must empty ourselves. Okay, so if it don't cost, and if it don't hurt, and if you're not emptying your pockets, according to Christian theology, or at minimum this author, it's not a sacrifice, right? It's not a sacrifice. But I understand his reasoning because of the word sacrifice. The fruit of silence is prayer. The fruit of prayer is faith. The fruit of faith is love. The fruit of love is service. The fruit of service is peace. This is Mullen, page 122. I'm not going to touch that. I'm not interested in any of these philosophical things. All right. So let's continue. Leo Tolstoy, birthday September 9, 1828, who in his later years was drawn towards an analysis of the religious nature of the human being. Now I would agree with that. And here's why. Well, no, I partially agree with that. The hybrid needs religion. The hybrid needs religion because it is not connected. It is not connected naturally. Okay, that's why it's a hybrid. So it needs something because it's missing something, right? And actually, I've heard people, I can't remember who it was, but I've heard people say that religion was created for the hybrid, actually. And then they flipped the script. They flipped the script on man. So the religion was created for the hybrid. Okay, so we get all of this stuff at birth, according to the way I heard it, but I can't remember who I got that from. But that the hybrid needed a guide, needed religion, because his behavior and his thinking is so bad. All right, unlike natural man. All right, so let's continue. Extolled the simple, rational, practical aspects of religion. So religion is neither simple and it is definitely not rational, if you know who you are, okay? Free from supernaturalism, that is absolute falsehood. Religion is nothing but supernaturalism. And concentrating almost exclusively on behavior. Quote, let all the world practice the teachings of J.C. and the reign of capital G-O-D will be on earth. Well, if that's not supernaturalism, I don't know what is. Okay? And capital G-O-D, as you know, is not who they indoctrinated you to think capital G-O-D is. Okay? So that's Zeus and all the other deities associated with that. Odin, Woden, all of that. You don't know which one it is. They just threw that word in there, made it up, right? Actually, it's dog spelled backwards. All right? But anyway, take it and do with it whatever you want to. What we just read was a bunch of garbage. Was nothing but a bunch of garbage. All right? So anyway, let's continue. Okay, the strongly developed critical faculties associated with Virgo manifest on the spiritual level as the principle of discrimination. Now, y'all know we're talking religion, right? You're talking religion, morals, ethics, doctrines. Okay, so anytime somebody's smoking. So here's the thing: when I breathe in, I get smoke. When I talk, I can taste the smoke. It's a filthy habit. I mean, I don't see why anybody in their right mind would smoke cigarette or anything else for that matter in this day and age. I mean, I just don't see how anyone could not care about themselves that much where they're going to actually poison themselves. It's no secret. Here in Vietnam, when you buy a pack of cigarettes, they have on it a man that looks like he has COPD. He's skin and bones, cigarette smoke, right? You can tell he's struggling to breathe. But yet, this is on the package. And the cigarettes are dirt cheap here. I mean, dirt cheap here. But yet, and still, people will buy that package. You know, the cigarettes, they buy it in the box. They see the image, and they just puff away one cigarette after another. So, whose fault really is it? You know, whose fault is it? All right. Anyway, let's continue. And here's the thing. When people do something like that, they smoke cigarette, that directly affects the quality of life of the person who's sitting where that smoke is blowing, right? And you would think that, well, never mind. Y'all see, I can't stand cigarette smoke. Let me see where I'm at. I lost my spot. Okay, so let me go back. The strongly developed critical faculties associated with Virgo manifest on the spiritual level as the principle of discrimination. So the critical faculties of the mind are discrimination, right? Choosing between this and that, of making those choices which will provide a secure foundation for the living out of the spiritual life. All right? So in other words, you make choices that are going to basically impoverish you, keep you poor, keep you suffering, meaning to say that you're going to put other people first before you. You're going to put all your energy, effort, and finance into growing the religion instead of growing your own business, growing your own life, growing your family. Y'all see it? That's the fact. Okay? So they're calling that a worthy goal and a worthy lifestyle. And I'm telling you, as one who has done that it's foolish and you will regret it. Okay? You get a few decades into that, you're going to realize that you made a huge mistake and you wasted that time. Not a total waste, because you learn, right? No matter what life experiences you have, you learn. But it would have been better for you to pursue your own stuff, recognize that you are the power. Okay? Quote unquote, Christ is within. The kingdom of God is within. And operate out of your lower self. Focus on getting your finances right and stayed right. Okay? And helping people out of your super abundance. Because there is no external deity, and there darn sure ain't one coming to save you. All right? You get wrapped up in these religions when you're not productive to them anymore, or if you learn something they don't want you to know, you do something they don't like, bye-bye. See you again. Throw you out. Ostracize you. Disgrace you. Right? And there's nothing you can do about it, because all of your network, they're going to believe the religious authorities and not you. And you're going to be starting all over again. It's going to be tough. I can laugh about it now. But y'all make sure you really use your reasoning ability. Let me rephrase that. Really use your critical thinking faculties and think strongly about your association, affiliation, contribution, self-sacrifice, ministry, whatever, as far as these religions are concerned. Camps, assemblies, whatever, congregations, whatever. All right, now I've told you. The making of such discriminations demands painstaking effort, and it is often a very costly affair. Y'all see that? So now they're rationalizing why you got to give up your dough. Why you got to give up your dough, right, in the form of a donation, or not pursue those things that will earn you money, so that you can either spend that time you would have spent getting money, you spend it getting busy in the ministry, helping them grow their religion. And here's the thing, all those people that you help to get into that religion, they won't follow you if you ever have a problem. They're going to follow the religion. So you'll just be there with nothing, holding the bag. Right? So anyway, it's going to come often. It's going to be very costly, since all choice involves loss. Now, that is not true. All choices do not involve loss. Okay, that's a state of mind. They want you to think that all choices involve loss. No. All choices involve gain. Okay? Does it have to be gain in money? No. But you should have common sense enough to make choices that are a gain for you in whatever areas of life that you're measuring it by. Don't make choices that put you at a loss. Okay? Come back to common sense. So the Virgo phase of the spiritual life is not simply the passive acceptance of inherited principles, the sheep-like, unquestioning adherence of a system which will enable us to rest from the agonizing choices that life calls us to make. In other words, you sit there and let life happen. And whatever somebody's plan is for you, you do it without question. Forget about what you want to do. You just do what you're told to do. And give what you're told to give. Y'all see how ridiculous this is? And how foolish you are if you're still involved in religious organizations. All right? Even Hebrew Israelitism. Ain't no difference. Genuine discipleship demands that we appropriate spiritual values by constantly re-evaluating them in the light of our growing knowledge and experience. The simple faith which refuses to make such discriminations is not a compatible spiritual state. Let me repeat that. It is not a commendable spiritual state, but a manifestation of laziness, masquerading as piety. So here, what it sounds like to me, this is manipulation, in my opinion. What it sounds like to me is that the doctrine is telling you to think about ways that you can make significant sacrifices. Remember, sacrifice has to hurt. So that you can do it consciously. Okay? So that it's not something that you're doing passively and you're not maximizing what you could be giving, right? You just letting it happen. No, they want you to think about how you can make these costly sacrifices for your deity. And now it's you who's talked yourself into even giving more. And who's responsible for that? You. Because it was you who did it. Okay? They just put it out there. They said it to you. It was you who took it and ran with it, right? Okay. Mark will address these issues in the Virgo section of his gospel. I gotta move, y'all. I can't deal with this cigarette smoke. Shalom Islam to all the Moors. Be sure to support the DrYasapa project to write the book of the law in Ancient Ibaryath, okay? To write it in Ancient Ibaryath and then in modern English, all right? I'll remove all of those injections, the lies, the deceit, the mythology, and I'll add back everything that was either hidden or taken out, okay? In other words, I'm going to remove all Jeremiah 8:8 occurrences. I'm going to give you what's pure in plain and simple English, along with the Ibaryath words and their etymology, so you can go back and check everything. I'm going to demystify it. Islam to all the Moors and Shalom. The links to my PayPal and Cash App are in the description area of the video. If you don't want to do it that way, you can contribute, support by buying my books, subscribing to the online 101 Ancient Ibaryath course, or you can show up Saturdays, every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I teach the 506 The Curses course, all right? First few times you can come for free. The tuition is very reasonable. Anyway, there's no obligation. If you don't want to come back, you don't have to, okay? And I can tell you this, that I've never asked anyone to pay tuition who hadn't made a decision that that's where they want to be. Okay, so you can come to the class, and when you feel comfortable that this is for you and you want to stay, that's when you give the tuition, all right? And we can work on that. But anyway, if you have any questions about it, let me know. I don't do things in such a way where people feel like they have a risk or something to lose. Okay, I don't do business that way. Okay, so you come to class when you're comfortable. That's where you know you want to be there. Then you can enroll. Islam to all the Moors. Shalom.